right now, there's roughly 32% of the planet identifies as Christian. And it doesn't mean that they follow Jesus. It just means that they're in regions that are, for the most part, Christian. Okay, 32%. And there's three major groups of Christians. There's the Catholics, the Protestants, and the Orthodox. But under each one of those groups, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of subdivisions. In fact, according to how you slice the pie, there's somewhere between 20 and 40,000 versions of Christianity. All of them slightly different. Think about that. The next most popular religion is Islam. 23% of the world is Islamic, or Muslim. And the two main groups there are the Sunni and the Shia. But under each one of those, there's numerous hundreds and thousands of subdivisions. And by the way, a little footnote here. Only a minuscule fraction of 1% identify with and engage in terrorism. Just know that. It's a tiny fraction. And so I say that because there's a growing sentiment in this country and over in Europe that paint Islam is all violent, inclined towards violence. And that is just completely not fair. It'd be like saying that all Christians are racist because of the Aryan nation, which identifies as Christian. It's about the same percentage of people that identify as Aryan among all Christians as identify as terrorists among the Muslims. But you wouldn't like it if someone just branded you a racist because of what they did. And see, it's the same kind of thing. And maybe you're saying, well, wait a minute. I've been told that the Quran has got a lot of violence in it. Well, it's got some, but have you read the Old Testament lately, all right? You don't want to be in that glass house throwing rocks, all right? All right, this is blessing. So we got 32% Christian, 23% or 22% Islam, then 13% identify as Hindu, and there's thousands of variations of that. 6% identify as Buddhist, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of a variety of that. And then there's just a couple hundred, if not a couple thousand different religions that each identify, they have maybe 1% or less of the population. So, for example, you've got, just to give you a little sampling, Chinese folk religion, you've got Sikhism and Judaism and the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, Scientology, shamanism, you've got Confucianism, Shinto, Baha'i, Sufism, Taoism, paganism, atheism, Satanism, the New Spiritism or the New Age movement, you've got Wicca, and you've got the Hare Krishna group and the Urantia group, NFL football, it runs the gamut. All over the place. The most devoted, I think, are the NFL, and they probably have more than 1%. And the whole thing, the overarching religious sentiment it creates is not Confucianism, but Confusionism, because it's so confusing. And in this world of so many different options, how do you know? You can't study them all. And so how do we hold on to one truth? How do you know that you have the one truth? And how do you effectively share that with others? So far, frankly, Christians haven't done very good adapting to this new world situation. It seems to me that most Christians on the whole act as though the last 100 years hasn't taken place. This new cosmopolitan environment we're in, they haven't responded well. This is why there's been a lot of studies on this. Christians tend to come across, evangelicals certainly come across, as intolerant, judgmental, dogmatistic, and just not very pleasant. We come across as buttheads. In fact, what's happened is that because so many are falling into relativism, thinking that all beliefs, all truth is personal. Because of that, it's actually had the opposite effect where Christians are afraid of that, and so they become more dogmatic and more insistent that they have the truth, which comes across as being more buttheadish. One of the reasons why we find this, one person actually called the disease of religious buttheadism, all right, is one of the causes of this has to do with the way people think about faith and the way they hold their faith. So that's what I want to talk about in the rest of this message. How people think about faith and how people hold their faith. It makes buttheads out of some folks.